From the birthplace of jiu-jitsu and home to some of the world's top fighters, tonight, MMA veterans and Rio Special Forces team up to raise money for the Rio Military Police. In the main event, current Shooto South American 220-pound champion Glover Teixeira puts his 11-fight win streak on the line and squares off against MFC veteran Marvin Eastman.
And that is all!
And now, HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil. Fight for Bope.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. My name is John Morgan, and I'm here with MMA legend, UFC Hall of Famer Royce Gracie. We are high in the hillsides here in Rio at the Bope Training Center, the elite special forces unit of the Brazilian police.
I feel very protected tonight.
I think you can handle your own whether these guys are here or not, but at least if something goes down, I'm going to be okay. In addition to these troops tonight, we've got 8 great bouts for you tonight. We're going to be fighting under the unified rules, except for one notable exception. We're going to have no elbows at any point tonight. 3 5-minute rounds throughout. A lot of great fights on the card, but I think the most attention tonight is the main event, Glover Teixeira, Marvin Eastman.
Marvin, we know him, tough guy, been around for a long time. Now Glover, this fight will put him in the U.S. Will definitely put him in the UFC.
I think you're right, Royce. Glover Teixeira has been linked to the UFC for a long time, and a win tonight could be exactly what he needs to get there. We've got 7 other bouts as well, some great Brazilian prospects, a couple of Bope Special Forces officers on the card as well. Looks like it's going to be an exciting night here in Rio. We've got the UFC coming to town, but tonight it's all about Shooto Brasil. Myself and Royce will be ringside, so stay tuned for all the action.
Sol da liberdade, raios fúlgidos, brilhou no céu da pátria nesse instante. Superior, essa é igualdade, conseguimos conquistar com braços fortes. Entre o seio, a liberdade, desafio o nosso peito à própria morte. Ao pátria amado, pela gravação do salve, Brasil no som intenso, raio vivo. De amor e de esperança a terra desce, sem teu formoso céu risonho e límpido, a imagem do cruzeiro resplandece. Gigante pela própria natureza, és bela e forte, magro e do poço. Se teu fundo desce essa beleza, será honrada, e te agradeço com razão a pátria amada. Meus filhos desde sol és mãe gentil, pátria amada Brasil. Meditar eternamente nesse espelho, ao som do mar, a luz do céu profundo, fulguras obras do florão da América, iluminando o sol do novo mundo. Sobre a terra, rasga a riga, seus sonhos e nos campos cheios as flores. Nossos bosques têm mais vida, nossa vida no teu seio mais amor. Ó pátria amada e idolatrada, salve, salve, Brasil de amor eterno seja símbolo, pula para o teus centas estrelado, e digo verde ouro dessa flâmula, mas no futuro e glória no passado. Mas é que da justiça cala forte, verás que o filho teu não foge à luta. Ninguém te adora a própria morte, terra adorada, entre outras vivas o Brasil, ó pátria amada, dos filhos deste sol é gentil, pátria amada Brasil.
Well, Royce, what an incredible scene we've got here tonight. I am super excited for this first fight and just absolutely honored to be here. You've got troops around us chanting and celebrating, guns and cannons going off. This is an amazing scene.
I saw you jumping a couple times.
I was hoping you missed that. I did jump a little bit. I'm not going to lie. That kind of scared me. I was trying to be a little manly, but those were big cannons.
Then I got scared too.
All right, well, if the UFC Hall of Famer got scared, then I guess it's going to be okay. Up first tonight is going to be a lightweight fight between Felipe Olivieri and Cesar Augusto. And we're going to take it right now to the ring with Mayeton.
Vamos para a primeira luta, categoria 70 quilos. Para representar a equipe Gordin Team, recebam o lutador Cesar Augusto Gordin.
Pela honra de Minas Gerais, guerreiro tá na casa. Respeitem a presença de Cesar Gordin. Eu não sinto medo, mas quem olha nos meus olhos vai sentir. No meu sangue corre garra, não nasci pra desistir. Deus me escolheu, desde criança me preparou. Seus erros hoje são cobrados, por isso ele me enviou. Pensamento espartano, tô sem tempo pra sorriso. A vitória é garantida, eu te garanto prejuízo. Trago paz dentro do peito, mas gero desespero. Meu soco tem a força de 35 mil guerreiros. Não posso parar, a vitória é obsessão. Só saio desse ringue carregando o cinturão.
And here is our first fighter of the night, Cesar Augusto. We can see him accompanied by a couple of those special fully geared Bope troops. That is one heck of an image, getting out of the side of an armored vehicle here in Rio de Janeiro. Cesar Augusto fighting out of the Gordon team in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Goes by the nickname Gordinho, but at 155 pounds, I don't think there's a lot of chubbiness on him anywhere out there. Augusto has a 7-6 record. He started fighting in October 2004. He started his career just 2-4, but he's been 5-2 since, so kind of bounced back to even out his record. One of those was a tough March 2010 decision loss to Hacran Dias. So Cesar Augusto on a nice roll and ready to make a statement tonight.
Só me fazem mais fortes, e no caso eu tenho habilidade. Não conto com a sorte, só sei o que eu passei pra chegar onde eu cheguei. Quantas adversidades, quantas lutas superei. Eu lutei demais, e hoje eu mostro que eu sou capaz. Corri atrás e mostro que eu sou voraz. Cesar Gordinho tá na casa.
Atenção, senhoras e senhores, para representar a equipe Nova União, recebam o lutador Felipe Olivieri.
And Augusto's opponent tonight is going to be Felipe Olivieri. We're waiting for him to merge from the armored vehicle there as well. Felipe Olivieri, part of the Nova União team. Obviously a very famous team here in Brazil, Royce. A lot of great submission fighters, but well-rounded opponents as well.
Nova União produced some very good fighters, especially on the lightweight division.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're talking about Gordinho, that he's not, that means little chubby. That's a nickname that probably was given to him as a kid.
Okay, so he didn't get stuck
a lot of nicknames were given to you as a kid, and no, he have nothing.
Okay,
no
say 6 foot,
chubby
155 pounds. You shouldn't be called chubby. That's just what I'm thinking. Felipe Olivieri, we talked about Nova União, like you said. José Aldo, a UFC champion right now, a Nova União product. A number of other featherweights and lightweights also are his training partners. So you know Felipe Olivieri is going to be well prepared tonight. He comes in sporting a 9-3 record. We talked about the submission skills that you think of with that team, but he's also got 5 wins by knockout, so known as kind of a Muay Thai specialist as well. And great story with Felipe Olivieri. We've heard it with other fighters from Nova União as well. Slept on the mats to start his career. Didn't have enough money to really do it, and just stayed there right in the gym. That's a great thing to see.
There's so much talent over here. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So Felipe Olivieri and Cesar Augusto are going to be kicking off our action tonight in the lightweight division here at Shooto Brasil.
Chamando o árbitro central, cromado.
right, here for his final instructions from our referee tonight is Cesar Augusto in the white board shorts there, Felipe Olivieri in the black and gold tie trim. Kicking off the night here at Shooto Brasil in Rio de Janeiro, John Morgan alongside Royce Gracie, and we are underway. Early leg kick from Augusto, but Felipe Olivieri immediately on his back. Omoplata set up there on the left side. Royce, is that close at all?
Those guys are very good in submission. Yes, that's very close.
Felipe Olivieri seems to have the omoplata locked in tight here. What does he need to do to finish this hold? He's getting instructions from his corner.
He's controlling the leg, so
really just needs to sit up at this point to finish, correct?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Cesar Augusto in a lot of trouble here very early in this fight. Obviously, when it's early on in the fight, these guys don't have a sweat going yet. There's not a lot of slip and slide on the joints. And impressed with the patience of Cesar Augusto. Looks very calm, and a nice roll through there. Excellent escape from Cesar Augusto, but of course he's not going to be out of trouble yet with Felipe Olivieri working from side control. Oliveira continues to control from the side. Cesar Augusto with a bit of a half guard underneath, but on his side there. What can Augusto do from this position on his side?
Augusto have to put him inside the guard.
So you'd be trying to work the full guard rather than work out on your side there.
The half guard is not very good for a fight.
Felipe Oliveira, of course, the Nova União product. We talked about the quality that they bring in all aspects of the game. Certainly you think about the submission skills, the grappling skills, and that's what we're seeing right now. Moving to side control, and the knee on the belly there briefly for Oliveira. Augusto just absolutely trapped underneath right now. Like you said, Royce not working to full guard, really just not offering much at all from the bottom. Oliveira with a nice left hand to the head there, working a few rights to the body. Big posturing right hand. Oliveira in the half mount, you see working that left leg up, trying to escape, trying to move the full mount, and Cesar Augusto on the bottom, not really looking to defend at all, looking to work to that full guard.
He got to put the guy inside the guard.
Yeah, absolutely. Felipe Oliveira with lots of room to stand up, sit up in posture, delivering big punches. You can see him trying to secure that right arm with the left leg. Felipe Oliveira just in complete control of this fight from moment one. Oliveira remains in the half mount, though he's moving out very high, trying to get the side control. Does work the right hand free. Augusto did a great job there of scrambling up to a knee and back to his feet. See if he can turn the tide of this. Instead, it's Felipe Oliveira with a beautiful toss, putting him right back on his back. But this time, Royce, Augusto is in the full guard, so he's got a little bit more defensive posture. Of course, not doing much good there with that big right hand. Referee calling for action here. Cesar Augusto is trying to tie things up on the bottom, trying to defend, trying to keep that onslaught of punches a little slower from the top. Felipe Oliveira postures up. He wants to land a big blow. Does get a nice right hand. It's a round of applause from the troops there.
Felipe is dominating from beginning to end.
Yeah, just absolutely in complete control. Maybe not as much damage from the top as he could have done, but certainly controlling the position from moment one.
But that's frustrating for the person on the bottom. When you can't get out, you can't do anything. You end up getting frustrated. You expose yourself more.
Absolutely, you just can't breathe down there, right? As Felipe Oliveira throws a few short right hands, you can see him squeezing in tight there, still trying to work to free that left leg. Oliveira not comfortable with half mount. I think he wants to move all the way to mount. He's moved to side control a few times as well. Cesar Augusto.
Felipe is playing the right game. He doesn't want to lose the position.
We talked about the nice run Augusto has been on as of late, but he's going to have to change things around here as we come into the final moments of the opening round. Felipe Oliveira has just not allowed his opponent to do anything from his back. And there's the pass to mount. Oliveira rolls, gives up the back. Nice scramble there from Oliveira, not to give up the back, but here comes some big punches. Oliveira just...
Cesar's trying to go for a leg lock right now.
Great reversal by Augusto as he's looking for the leg lock. Does he have anything there as you look at that grip, the toe hold? And that's going to do it for the opening round. We saw some nice moments for Cesar Augusto at the very end looking for a toe hold, but Royce, I got to say that's pretty clearly Felipe Oliveira's round 10-9, correct?
He controlled from beginning to end. It's I mean, he's got to play patient too.
So we watched the replay here. It just started right away. It looked like Oliveira was going to be the one in trouble as he had the kick caught, but he quickly reversed to the top position. We saw the near omoplata in the beginning, and this is what we saw the remainder of the round. It was just Felipe Oliveira pummeling from top position. And if you're Cesar Augusto's corner, what do you tell him right now? He's got to do something different.
I mean, he's not being he's not taking any damage, but he got to do something. He got to look for a finish, maybe try to frustrate the opponent when he's down and just make him expose him more. They're both playing very careful, I felt, in this first round.
So you'd like even Felipe Oliveira, who controlled that round, you'd like to see him open up a little bit in top position as well.
Both of them were playing very careful. The one on top didn't want to expose himself, lose the position. The one on the bottom didn't get any damage, so he's holding. We'll see what happens this round.
All right, we're going to go to round two. A very clear-cut victory, we both believe, for Felipe Oliveira in the opening round, who just controlled the action from moment one. We'll see if Cesar Augusto in the white board shorts can make any adjustments. Because right now, Felipe Oliveira, big shots on the feet. There's something we didn't see. See Augusto pushing in on the outside. Nice right hand to the temple. Augusto doing a lot better here to open this second round. Did make some adjustments. Did see a low blow there. Good sportsmanship. It looks like they talked about it. Didn't look like the referee saw it right at first. But Felipe Oliveira kind of protested against the ring, and Cesar Augusto relented, said, hey, I think I did catch you in the cup. I apologize. Doesn't look like a lot of damage here, though. Felipe Oliveira, as we watch the replay here, a couple knees inside there, and there was the one that did the damage, unfortunately. Certainly not an intentional blow. Oliveira had up to 5 minutes, but he's ready to start back right away. Big shots traded again on the feet. Cesar Augusto really trying to change the course of things. Now he ducks in for a single leg. Oliveira with his back against the corner padding, looking to balance, stay upright. Cesar Augusto pressing in from the outside, looking to change the course of this fight after dropping the opening round. Again, the knees to the gut. Not concerned about the accidental low blow as he continues to pummel away at the body. Big knee there. Felipe Oliveira now on offense. Great back and forth action to open. You like the changes so far, Royce? Those were a nice flurry.
They were feeling each other out in the first round.
That feeling out process is over. They are ready to bang in this lightweight contest. Oh, a nasty cut as they break away there from the clinch. There is a nasty cut on the cheek of Cesar Augusto. Didn't see where that happened. Not sure if there was from a headbutt or one of those nasty shots in a combination. A lot of blood there, but Royce, that's not in a position that should really stop the fight, correct? Unless it's just a huge, nasty gash.
Well, the doctor will figure that out. That's the doctor's job. We can't see it from here.
It's going to stop, but it must have been vicious. Normally, sometimes we see fights continue when it's not over the eye, it's not bleeding directly into the eye, but that must be a deep, nasty gash. Whatever happened there, we didn't see. Hopefully we'll see on the replay where that blow came in, but that is going to be a TKO victory for Felipe Oliveira, who controlled round one, stood and traded in round two, went a little bit back and forth, but looks like he has picked up his 10th career victory and bounced back from an August 2010 loss. What'd you think about the performance, Royce?
Then they feel each other out in the first round. Second round, they came in to exchange blows.
Yeah, I really did like the back and forth action. Again, we see the two guys talking over in the corner. Felipe Oliveira almost apologizing. I think you never want to win a fight by a cut, but as we can see, that is a pretty nasty gash on the left cheek there of Cesar Augusto, and the blood that came from that blow is all over the cheek of our winner as well. Let's take it up to Mayaton for the official result.
Atenção, senhoras e senhores, o segundo round, 1 minuto e 35 segundos, nocaute técnico. O vencedor é Felipe Olivieri.
So Felipe Oliveira, after an impressive opening round, earns a second round TKO. It's his 10th career win. We're just getting started here at Shooto Brasil for Bope. We'll be right back here on HDNet, your home for MMA.
We'll be back with more HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope. Welcome back to HDNet Fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope.
Welcome back to Rio de Janeiro. This is John Morgan. Of course, I am here with Royce Gracie. We've had great action to start tonight. Now we're going to carry it on with a fight that should be truly entertaining. This is the first of 2 fights tonight here in Rio that will feature a Bope soldier against an Argentinian fighter. Now, of course, you know, Royce, they couldn't get any Brazilian fighters to fight these Bope guys, right? That would be almost sacrilege.
That would not be good. If he wins, I don't think he'll live for very long.
But
we're in Brazil, man.
An Argentinian, that's okay. We'll bring them in. And so that first Argentinian tonight is Cristiano Goncalves. Cristiano Goncalves, the Bope officer. He's going to be fighting Guilhermo Teze. Guilhermo Teze is 3-0, fighting out of Argentina. Kayeshi Fight Club. Goes by the nickname the Iceman. He's a kickboxer. He's a submission grappler. But right now what he is public enemy number 1.
Yes. He's in big trouble. But I'm curious to know. I mean, I know the Bope guys are very tough. I'm curious to know how good are they as a fighter.
I am as well, and I think that's what's intriguing about tonight. Obviously, they've got these troops behind them, but from what I understand, the Bope guys are training with Noble and Yao as well in their spare time. So they've got their combative techniques here, but they're also training with Noble and Yao as well. So we'll see Cristiano Goncalves next.
Atenção, senhoras e senhores, representando a equipe do Bope, recebam o lutador Cristiano Goncalves.
And there you hear the roar for Cristiano Goncalves. We are here at a private function here, not a huge crowd in Rio de Janeiro on the Bope Training Center. You would not know from the roar that is coming through tonight. You can see the high fives, the well wishes, the screaming. This is just an absolutely beautiful scene. And Cristiano Goncalves is definitely going to have the crowd behind him tonight. How does that, can that help you? We hear, come on, fighters all the time say, once I get in the cage, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You don't hear a thing.
Even with this?
I have a selective hearing.
Fair enough.
That's what my mother always says.
Well, it's going to be our second fight of the night, Cristiano Goncalves and Guilhermo Teze. Oh, look at the great work there by Cristiano Goncalves, putting the flag of Bope down on the ground. What an outstanding moment. Let's take it up the Mayaton for the official introduction.
Chamando o árbitro central, Márcio Tromado.
So some final introductions here from our referee. Probably telling Guilhermo Teze, if you win, get out of the ring as fast as you can. That's going to be Guilhermo Teze, the Argentinian in the black Vale Tudo shorts. The crowd favorite, the Bope officer, Cristiano Goncalves in the black board shorts. I can't wait to see this. Quick touch of gloves. Goncalves looking to shoot in right away, but quick hands by Teze. Shoot in by Goncalves, but Teze not in a bad position there, right? Full guard, looks very comfortable on his back. Goncalves working for top position, does have his hands on the mat. A little dangerous there. Teze doesn't capitalize right away. You see Goncalves trying to work the body. Teze got the open guard underneath, overhooking the left arm, trying to kick away, create distance, but excellent work there from Goncalves. Stepped away and stepped into side control, and his fellow Bope officers are extremely happy for him in side control. What options should he be looking for here, Royce, on top inside control? Looking to secure that arm maybe, or just pound away?
I'll go for a better position, get the mountain position.
So step over with that left leg and get on top. I don't know, we see a lot of fighters these days prefer the side control, but you like the mount. It does look like Goncalves is trying to work for that. Teze on the bottom, keeping his knees high. Looks like he's trying to prevent that pass, but he's not offering anything in defense at this point. Really can't return fire, obviously, in that position. Kicking the legs up there, trying to threaten with the head. Goncalves steps around the back. It looks like he wants to get in a standing rear naked choke. It's not going to be there as Teze defends well. And a beautiful toss by Teze in that position, but Goncalves rolls right through it. And you can hear the crowd here in Rio. Every positive movement that Goncalves makes is met with raucous applause. Teze again defending from his back.
He's looking for the mount, got the mount.
Goncalves did get him out. I wasn't sure he's going to be able to right against the ropes. Now posturing up. He's got the back. It looks like he has both hooks in. Goncalves in a great position right now, trying to soften up his opponent with punches. The right hand is under. Is the choke underneath? That could be it. Goncalves has the choke there. Teze is trying to fight it off, but he's got it tapped. And this place is going nuts. Cristiano Goncalves, the Bope officer, and look at this crowd. Unbelievable enthusiasm for one of their own. Cristiano Goncalves, the Bope officer, the Novo União trainee, being hoisted. Look at the chairs in the air. What an unbelievable scene. Wow, just unbelievable here. Wraps himself in the flag after getting the first round submission win. Excellent work from Cristiano Goncalves, getting the win over Guilhermo Teze. And let's take it up to our ring announcer, Maia.
I think it was a good thing that Guilhermo lost.
Aos 2 minutos e 11 segundos. Finalização, o mata-leão. O vencedor é Cristiano Goncalves.
An exuberant crowd cheers on one of their own as Cristiano Goncalves picks up the first round submission, and I guess Argentinian Guilhermo Teze can make it out of here safely tonight, so that's a good thing for all of us involved. Great start to the night. Bope is 1-0, and we'll be right back on HDNet with more of Shooto Brasil Bope.
We'll be back with more HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope. Welcome back to HDNet Fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope.
We're back for our third fight. It's John Morgan alongside Royce Gracie, and man, I don't know, after that last emotional explosion from the crowd here in Rio de Janeiro, I don't know how we're going to top that, but we've got a very intriguing fight here between welterweights, Johil de Oliveira and Haroldo Bunn. Neither one of these guys has fought in a little while. Haroldo Bunn comes in with just a 3-4 record. Made his original debut back in 1997. And it's his first fight since 2003, so hasn't fought in 8 years. So interested to see what he's still got.
This sounds like a bad blood fight over here.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? And Johil de Oliveira, obviously somebody that you know that's been around the scene for a long time. Johil de Oliveira opened his career at 10-1-1. Made his debut back in September of 1995. So you're talking about a guy that started literally just right after you helped the UFC get going.
He fought in Japan too, I think. He fought all over the place. He's been around for a long time.
Kind of went through some tough times, had 9 straight losses between 1999 and 2007. I know he had a lot of eye injuries and had one pyrotechnic issue in pride, hurt one eye, and then he had an eye poke in training in the other. So kind of went through a really tough stretch.
But when you're a fighter, man, it's very hard to stop. I know.
Oh, we won't hear anything about that. We'll see you back again, I'm sure. So I like this fight. It's an intriguing fight. One fighter that hasn't fought in a long time, another that's kind of gone through a rough stretch, and is really trying to recover from that, and has been in the game for a long time. It's a very intriguing fight here in welterweight action. I don't know who to favor. It's tough. When you haven't seen somebody fight in 8 years, you don't know what they're going to offer. I got to pick somebody, don't I? You know what? I'm going to go with the
I'm making a battle over here on the side with you. You got to pick one.
You know what? I'm going to go with Johil Oliveira tonight.
So far, you're 2-2. 2-0, man.
2-0 so far. So, yeah, you know
Johil's yours. Okay.
I think Johil Oliveira brings a lot of experience. I think that's going to be very exciting to watch tonight. But we'll see what Haroldo Bunn can bring as well. Cabelinho, little hair. You Brazilians. You just run out of nicknames.
They get their nicknames from young age.
And we'll take it up to Maya Tone for the official introductions.
I had to.
All right, so Johil Oliveira, we see him with the Brazilian tattoo, the white shorts. Haroldo Bunn is going to be wearing the black tights, and he does have little hair, so it's a proper offering. It's a proper offering, I'll give you that. Getting a couple last-minute instructions for both fighters. Again, Haroldo Bunn, just a 3-4 record, hasn't fought in 8 years, but has never been the distance, so could be an intriguing fight. And of course, Johil Oliveira, the seasoned, grizzled veteran who went through some tough times, but is kind of looking to rebound right now, and both fighters look very focused. Oliveira wants to fight. He doesn't even want to go back to his corner. Let's just do this. Oliveira does charge forward, steps back briefly. This is an early low kick. Bunn, again, hasn't been in there in 8 years. Probably going to take him a little bit to feel out the pace, the distance. I would think somebody like that, you might want to press him early, right? See if their timing's a little bit off.
He's showing a lot of control, a lot of calmness.
Yeah, you can really see the focus in Oliveira's eye. Referee calls for action. But Bunn on the outside looks like he's maybe waiting to counterpunch right away. Oliveira not pushing right, stiff left from Oliveira. Charges in though. Bunn was ready for it. Nice knee, but Bunn pushes him back. And Bunn's going to dive into top position with Oliveira underneath in full closed guard. Bunn controlling on top. You see Oliveira working that left leg high, working into kind of a rubber guard position. Really just kind of controlling on that side. Not really threatening over there with that left leg. Bunn wipes away a little blood from his mouth. He continues to pummel away from top position. You see Oliveira working that closed guard underneath and wrapping up. Really not trying to transition or threaten, is he, Royce? Just kind of wrapping up, maybe hoping for a stand-up? It's kind of slow action. Bunn says he'll force the action a little bit. A nice slam down. You see Oliveira on the bottom just really wrapping up the arms. Bunn steps over. Looks like the referee wants to stand this fight back up, but Bunn is staying relatively active on top. Bunn continues to work away from the top. I think the referee's going to stand this up. Doesn't like it.
Johil plays very calm. I like his style.
Does look very relaxed right now. The fighter's a little too patient, though. You might see some aggression from both.
It's the first round. They're feeling each other out. Plus, they're not that young anymore. Come on.
That's right.
They got to take their time.
We got 10 more minutes left to go tonight. Pushing in from the outside. Knee missed there. That could have been a home run shot. Wisely pulled away. Again, very patient. Neither fighter wants to commit. Not sure if they're both looking to counter or... There's a nice takedown. Setting up in top position.
Let's see what Cabelinho can do now from the top position.
Oliveira underneath, very patient. One wants to drop some heavy damage. Like I said, both fighters very patient, both comfortable, I think, but neither really gaining an offensive advantage.
Might not see from here, but there's a lot of going on in there. So.
See Bunn on top.
A lot of times they try to frustrate the opponent, so there's a lot of that sometimes. Now Cabelinho looks very aggressive.
Yeah, when he's on top and he's unleashing those punches, those aren't little short rabbit punches, are they? Those are great, heavy shots. Continuing to punch away here in the final moments of the opening round.
He wants to get this thing over, man.
Oh, a diving right hand there, just misses. That could have been deadly. Instead, Oliveira now going to control from the back. Trying to sweep the leg out there. See Bunn just kind of ducking his head through and still gets punched. Referee doesn't like that action, though, obviously. Probably going to get a little bit of a warning there for sticking his head through the ropes. Final seconds of the opening round. Bunn tries to leap over the right. Oh, he gets tagged with a counter right. Oliveira with a well-timed counter shot. Back and forth opening round there, Royce. What'd you think about the first 5 minutes of action?
Yeah. They're feeling each other out. Now we're going to see what they can do in the second round.
There was a stiff left there by Cabelinho. Both had good moments. There was, I think, the end of the round here. There was a nice work from both fighters, I think, on the ground. Both had their moments in the stand-up game. I think it's a very even opening round. I think both can be fairly pleased with that first 5 minutes. Shooto Brasil Bope will be right back here on HDNet, your home for MMA.
We'll be back with more HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope. Welcome back to HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope.
Cabelinho played very aggressive. He was pushing a little more in the fight. Johil was playing more the counter.
Could you give a winner in that opening round if you had to?
I would have given Cabelinho.
I think so as well.
He pushed a little more.
I think he was.
Not much.
I agree. I think he was the attacker there. Johil de Oliveira, the more experienced fighter, certainly looked very calm and relaxed in there, but sometimes calm and relaxed just doesn't get it done. Especially in the judges' eyes.
Sometimes they're waiting for the second, third round. You know, like I said, they're not that young anymore. So they got to save some energy.
Talking about not that young Cabelinho, taking a few more seconds over there in the corner. Cabelinho Bunn to return to action. Referee lets him know, get up. We got to do this. It's time for round two. All right, so very even opening round. We think Cabelinho might have taken it, but could go either way. Cabelinho opens up right away there. Oh, and a nice flurry early. Oliveira shows the experience, tries to get it to the ground, but instead it's Cabelinho on top. Oliveira on the bottom, closed guard, tight body lock, really just not allowing any room whatsoever. Very patient, like you said, could be very strategic, but unlike when, the no time limit days of your youth, you got to win rounds, right?
That's true. You got to play the rules.
Oliveira again on the bottom, just staying very tight and going to get a stand-up. I guess perhaps that's what he was after. Although Cabelinho has looked pretty solid on his feet as well. So on the restart, oh, nice left hand followed up by a right. That's why Johil Oliveira wanted to be on the feet. Another right hand scores. Cavalinho wiping away a little blood on his nose.
Nice.
Great.
That was a perfect timing to get in a clinch.
Really was. Johil Oliveira dove in with a punch, and Cavalinho saw it coming and ducked underneath, put the fight on the floor. Again, last time we were in this position, we saw Oliveira really just working a close guard, looking for the stand-up. He's a little bit more active this time, punching from underneath.
I think Johil smells the blood, knows he connect a couple punches, so he's going after.
I agree. I think Cavalinho was really rocked there from a couple of those punches. Kind of letting him recover at this point. We hear the pro Nova União crowd here cheering their boy on from top position. They have been happy so far. Oh, big right hand just misses from the top for Cavalinho. See more and more blood kind of, maybe it's just kind of smearing around there. I don't know if it's opening up anymore, but really smearing around the face of Cavalinho in top position. And he's landing some heavy leather from the top, and now that blood's kind of all over the chest of Oliveira as well. Going to get a stand up there. Oliveira was trying to get to his feet. We're going to get a timeout for the referee. Looks like he does want to check those cuts. Again, we could see while it was on the ground, the blood was really spreading around.
Even though he got blood coming out of his nose, he's not backing down.
No, not at all. And I think the stuff around his eye is just kind of what spread around. Doesn't look like there's any real serious cuts. Yeah, just from his nose, nothing more. And doesn't look like the nose is broken. He doesn't seem to be wincing. It doesn't seem to be misshapen in any way. So I think he's going to. I think we're going to see a continuation here, right?
It's a good time to rest right now for both of them.
Let the veterans get an extra breath in there. Let them relax a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm older than this guy. I know how he feels. Come on.
We saw the replay here. You saw there was the left and then the right. And Cavalinho was in a lot of trouble there. And I think just got a little bit aggressive, did Oliveira. And that's what allowed Cavalinho to get him to the ground and let the heavy leather his top. And doctor's taking a long look at this. Oliveira.
He'll now complaining the guy got ice on his neck.
Yeah, that's true. You know, he's getting a recovery. I thought I had him rocked. So we're back to action here in round 2. Oliveira, oh, caught him in the cup right away. That'll teach him to take a break.
Now you can take a break. You want a reason? You want a reason to take a break? I'll give you a reason.
I'll give you a reason to take a break. We're going to assume that was unintentional. But this was a wild, crazy, kind of a reckless maneuver, and sure enough,
it was just an accident.
Oh, that was dirty. Again, I think it was unintentional by Oliveira, but certainly it was a direct hit nonetheless. And we see Haroldo Bunn in some pain, is working back to his feet. Now, of course, he has up to 5 minutes to recover. We can't really check the injury, but he doesn't want it. He's back to action right away. Oliveira again in the center of the ring. Low kick again right away. Cavalinho with an intense look in his eyes. Oliveira with a missed spinning kick there, getting creative. Oh, another combination rocks his opponent. Oliveira swinging wildly. A nice knee up the middle. Cavalinho's in trouble. He hit the deck, and Oliveira is swarming with punches. Cavalinho in guard. Cavalinho does have the closed guard. He did slow things down a little bit, but I think he was rocked the second time in this fight.
He's just killing time right now, just wrapping his opponent so he can let the time go by and try to recover.
Smart work trying to recover on the bottom of his Cavalinho. Now actually setting up an arm bar, but a veteran like Oliveira saw that coming out. The knee bar.
He's out.
Oliveira gets out, and as Cavalinho rises, we see the blood all over his face. It has gotten even worse from those recent blows. Oliveira extremely patient. You see the blood all over the ropes in the corner over there. Just a nasty scene from the carnage. Oliveira, again, using that very tight body lock in a beautiful trip to end up in top position. Cavallino, you can see him wincing his eyes there. The blood has really started to flow. We're going to get, I think, another timeout to check those cuts yet again. Yeah, and I think this is a good call from the referee. You could really see as he was in bottom position, the blood was going directly into his eye. Oliveira is not happy with the stoppage, but I think he's going to get the win. Yeah, and that's going to be it. Yeah, Oliveira was a little frustrated. Thought he was going to get more time for his opponent to rest, but that cut, the blood was going right into his eye. And, of course, Royce, you just can't fight when the blood's coming into your eye, correct?
That was a good stop.
Absolutely. So the veteran Johil de Oliveira picks up his 15th career win. We talked about the struggles that he's gone through. He went through some struggles tonight. He had a couple stoppages for cuts. He actually kicked his opponent in the groin, and he was a little frustrated with all the breaks that his opponent was receiving. But Haroldo Bunn, Cavallino, in his first fight in 8 years, will come up a little bit short as Johil de Oliveira earns the second round TKO via cut. And again, like you said, Royce, just a good stoppage. The first time they looked at it, it was just a little blood in the nose. Second time, it was running down into the eye. You see the blood still all over Johil de Oliveira as well. As a t-shirt to wipe him off a little bit. At least clean him up a little bit before he gets his moment in the sun, right? So they're going to leave the blood on him. Let's take it up to Mayaton for the official call.
Senhores, no segundo round, aos 4 minutos e 9 segundos, por interrupção médica, o vencedor é Johil de Oliveira.
So impressive work by Johil de Oliveira. The grizzled veteran grinded through a tough opening round, earned the victory via cut in the second. Nice win for the veteran. We'll be right back on HDNet with more from Shooto Brasil.
We'll be back with more HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope. Welcome back to HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope.
So it's on to the next fight here in Rio de Janeiro. And after the last time we saw a Bope fighter in action, I'm pretty pumped to see this fight again. We've got another Argentinian here. Juan Pablo Cordoba this time around is the one taking the plunge and trying to fight the hometown hero here. Juan Pablo Cordoba does fight out of the Caixa team in Argentina. Comes in with a perfect 2-0 mark at 23 years old. But I'm thinking in his 2 fights of experience, he's never been in an environment quite like this.
He's fighting another Bope guy.
It's incredible. Yeah, this is the second Bope fighter of the night. It will be Cordoba's opponent, and we saw in the first go-round, the Bope guys are fighting like men possessed so far. So I think that's what we're going to see here as well from Cordoba's opponent. But Cordoba is going to aim for the upset tonight. Obviously, a tall order. He does have 2 fights of experience versus his opponent 0. So at least he's got that to lean on.
These guys are Bope. They go fight every day on the streets, man, arresting bad guys.
Para apresentar a equipe do Bope, recebam o lutador Felix Mau-Mau.
Felix Mau-Mau.
Mau-Mau means bad.
Bad, Royce. And you said it. Fights all the time. He may have a 0-0 pro record, but fights every day on the street. And Felix Mau-Mau.
He must be a bad man.
Well, we tried to get him to tell us his last name. We said, please. We know Mau-Mau means bad. Come on, what is it? He wasn't sharing. That's how bad these Bope guys are. They don't even need a last name. Just a nickname. That's all you need to know. You can see, once again, an emotional walk-in, just as it was the first time around for the Bope guys. Felix Mau-Mau at 36 years old. And you hear the beautiful gladiator music there in the background. And you see the logo that, I got to say, is just a little bit intimidating. I'm not going to lie. I saw it on a couple vehicles when I walked into the property today. It kind of scared me. So there is Felix Mau-Mau.
Cacau.
All right, it is the Team Bope fighter Felix Mau-Mau in the black board shorts and the blue tape around the gloves. The Argentinian Juan Pablo Cordoba has the black, white, and blue trunks and the red tape. And we know who the favorite is tonight, at least in the building here in Rio. Both fighters again getting a few last minute instructions. Again, the Argentinian probably being told if he wins, get out as quickly as possible. And the Bope soldiers are on their feet. They are chanting.
You're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die.
Oh my God! Okay, folks, you can't make that up. That's Royce Gracie. People in the back chanting, you're gonna die. We're in Rio de Janeiro, and these two are locking up right away. Felix Mau-Mau on the outside pushing in. They're grappling for position. Cordoba looked for the toss and got it. Cordoba, the Argentinian, in the back mount position, got the right arm under the chin. He's very, very high, and Mau-Mau takes advantage of that, shucks him off, and is now inside control. So some tense moments there for the hometown hero, but Mau-Mau now inside control, which pleases the crowd, I believe. I think that's what the hooting and hollering in the back means from the soldiers. Cordoba on his back, got the right arm wrapped around the neck. Not really any choke. I know that you can finish with a guy inside control on top of you, but just trying to control the head position. A quick slip over in the mount there. Mau-Mau in top position.
Very good control from the mount.
Got a very low base there, heavy on the hips, not too high up. You can see Cordoba trying to block with his hips, but like you said, Royce, excellent control on top right now.
Got the hooks.
Yeah, Cordoba again tried to buck and roll, but Mau-Mau heavy on top right now. Not punching, but kind of setting up the side choke there, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, and there it is right there. The arm triangle's in. If he can just jump over to the side. This does look tight. And there it is. Mau-Mau is out to the side. And Cordoba
just
has no choice but to tap here. Right, Royce?
He got it.
And there it was.
Beautiful technique.
Excellent work again from the Team Bope guys. Cordoba is right in front of us, did not want to tap, had no choice but to do it. And again, the chairs are in the air, the crowd is going crazy, and I'm just happy for all of us. I think that the right guy won.
For the sake of all of us.
For the sake of all of us. I don't usually choose or cheer, but I'm happy right now. I'm going to go ahead and admit. I don't know about you, Royce.
Don't worry, you're with me. You're safe.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Felix Mau-Mau being raised onto the shoulders of his fellow soldiers, sporting the flag of Team Bope. And as you can imagine, the crowd here is absolutely ecstatic at the victory. And a great performance. Like you said, an excellent base while he's in mount position, transitioned into the choke beautifully, and just an excellent finish. José Aldo over there to celebrate with him. Again, we talked about the Team Bope guys working out with Novo and Yao. Great moment there. The crowd is going ecstatic. Let's get the official announcement from Bayaton.
No primeiro round, 1 minuto e 53 segundos. Finalização, Katagatame. O vencedor é Felix Mau-Mau.
So Felix Mau-Mau picks up the first round submission win to the delight of all of us who now feel no matter what happens, we'll be going home safely. Everybody's happy, but it was an impressive performance by Felix Mau-Mau, who is now 1-0. That was his first professional fight, and just an excellent performance all the way around. And thank you for the Argentinians as well. We'll be right back on HDNet with more Shooto Brasil.
We'll be back with more HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil. Fight for Bope. Welcome back to HDNet Fights. Shooto Brasil. Fight for Bope.
so here at Shooto Brasil, we move along to the next fight. We're in the bantamweight division, and now we're starting a little serious, Royce. Maybe it's me against you. It's the United States versus Brazil for the next 4 fights. And since I don't see too many other Americans around here, I might not have many people cheering me tonight.
Just don't cheer too much.
Okay, I'm going to keep quiet and try to pretend I'm speaking Portuguese if we win. First up in this little 4-fight series is Jesse Brock. Again, this is in the bantamweight division. Jesse Brock sports a 13-5 record, but I think the record's a little bit deceiving. 2 of his losses are to Demetrius Johnson, Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Those are 2 very, very tough fighters. He fought them really before anybody knew who they were, and kind of probably on some bad advice. Jesse Brock will certainly be a wrestling stylist. That's what you're going to see from him, and you can see he's got an all-star corner over there. He's got Scott Jorgensen with him. I didn't even see Clay Guida snuck in, Urijah Faber. So he's got an all-star corner with him for sure. Jesse Brock, a 2-time Alaska State wrestling champion, also wrestled at Boise State with Scott Jorgensen, and that's where he met.
That's a very good corner right there.
Yeah, if it's a battle of corners, well, I don't know. He is fighting the Nova União guy. I'm not sure. I just want to see a battle royal. Can we do that? Let's just skip this fight, and let's get like a 4-on-4 going in there with the corners against each other.
I don't know. This is a pretty tough corner right there, man.
Not too bad there. Like I said, we knew Jorgensen and we knew Urijah Faber were going to be in his corner tonight, but Clay Guida snuck in there as well. Not too bad for Jesse Brock. You got to think you're in a foreign land right now, but you got to think at the very least you're feeling good with those 3 guys behind you, even if the environment's a little awkward, even if you're the
underdog. That's your sparring partners, man.
There's nothing anybody else is going to bring to you. So a big moment here for Jesse Brock.
Senhoras e senhores, finalmente apresentando a equipe Nova União. Recebam o lutador Rodolfo Marques.
All right, so we talked about what Jesse Brock brings to the table, but now let's talk about Rodolfo Marques. Nova União team, always putting out excellent products. This looks like the next one in that series. He's 12-1 in his career. He's currently on a 9-fight winning streak. The one loss came to a very tough Luis Nogueira, who's 11-1, who we recently saw pick up a win at Bellator. So just the one loss, went to a decision. He's never been finished. If there's a criticism, 8 of his 13 victories have gone to a decision, so maybe lacking a little bit of that finishing power, whether it be submissions or TKOs. But a very, very bright prospect. He's been announced for the Dream World Bantamweight Tournament, so he's expected to go over to Japan. I would think he may be taking a little bit of a risk here. I mean, you know, Royce, I mean, you could get announced for a big tournament like that, but you take a loss on the regional stage, they might pull that away from you.
This would probably be a warm-up for him.
Are you calling my American partner over here a warm-up?
A warm-up for him, not the opponent.
Call my guy a warm-up.
But to see how he does in the ring.
Absolutely.
Maybe they tied up all the screws and told him what to do, and let's see if he can pull it off.
Looks like an excellent fight on paper. Let's take it up to Mayaton to get this thing underway. First of a 4-fight series here between the U.S. and Brazil. John Morgan versus Royce Gracie. I can dream. I like Shooto Brasil. They don't cut the ring card girls short. They let them walk around for a while. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so they're going to come forward for a few last-minute instructions from the referee. Again, this is in the bantamweight division, the first of 4 U.S. versus Brazil fights. Jesse Brock, the wrestler, in the black shorts. Rodolfo Marques, the Nova União product, in the white. This should be fun. Well, Marques looks very confident out there as he takes the center. Brock staying on the outside early, working back and forth. Obviously, he's going to want to use that wrestling background at some point. See a 2-inch height advantage for Marques, but I don't know, it just looks like more as they're standing in there. He's just got kind of a longer frame. Maybe it's the way he's pawing those strikes out there, those nice early low kicks. Jesse Brock looks like he's having a little bit of trouble figuring out the distance he needs to get to to take this fight to the ground. Here's Scott Jorgensen in the corner, offering some instructions. Brock nearly got the takedown. More low kicks from Rodolfo Marquez. Is that a good way to keep the wrestler off balance? Royce, is those low kicks?
You kind of expose yourself when you're throwing low kicks for the wrestler to shoot in.
So really, you might limit yourself. Even if you do have a good tie kick, you might want to keep it to yourself against the wrestler.
You kick and he might catch you at the right time and take you down. So you better be expecting that shoot in so you can sprawl, so you can defend it.
I admit, you know, not a lot of action early, but I'm very impressed at Rodolfo Marquez's comfort in there. He just looks extremely focused, extremely comfortable, bouncing, showing a lot of head movement. And Brock is just having a lot of trouble figuring out the range and figuring out how he can get past that offense and get this fight to the floor. Does move in there briefly, but can't keep it. Marquez just pulls away. Nice inside leg kick. Said Royce can expose yourself. He looks obviously confident enough. He's not worried about the takedown coming from Brock right now.
He's a BJJ guy.
He's on his back.
He's not worried about going to the ground.
I guess as crisp as his striking is looking right now, you kind of forget he's going to have that technique as well.
He looks pretty sharp standing up.
Again, we talked about there is a criticism maybe at Marquez early. Now Brock shoots in, grabs a hold of that single leg, and I don't think he's going to want to let go. I think no matter how much balance Marquez shows right here against the ropes, Brock is just going to continue to press in. Deep on the single, trying to get that high crotch position. Marquez doing a good job of controlling the wrist, pushing down, showing excellent balance. Gives Marquez to get the ropes. Pushes the head down, gets the underhook. Excellent work. Textbook.
Defending very well so far.
Really shows the evolution of the Brazilian fighter. Really picking up the wrestling techniques. Kind of a stalemate in the corner here. Brock continuing to press in.
That was a BJJ technique. He defends only his BJJ. Come on.
All right, all right. Royce Gracie's going to punch me ringside here. He's feeling confident in his Brazilian picks over here as well. Brock continuing to press in from the outside, but just not a lot of action there. Marquez doing a good job of staying upright. Referee giving him a lot of time to work in the position, like you said. Not always a lot to the naked eye, but they're struggling. Finally does break it up. Brock's got to be a little frustrated that he couldn't get the fight to the floor. He finally got the fight where he wanted in that clinch position, and didn't work out for him the way he wanted. You can really hear the corner of Brock over here again. All-star corner trying to implore him to get the fight to the floor. Oh, nice left hand from Marquez. Another left hand. The BJJ guy with crisp strikes on the outside just looks extremely comfortable in there. Again, just 2 inches of height differential, but Marquez just fights like a longer fighter. Pumps out those jabs, pumps out the left. Really frustrating Brock as he tries to find distance. And then in the closing seconds here, Marquez is going to unleash. Nice knee inside. Brock again, just nothing. What do you think about that opening round, Royce? You got to be happy for your countryman.
He did a good job. He's sharp. He showed that he's ready. He's ready for Japan.
We watched the replay here again. The fight took place primarily on the feet in the opening round. Brock just looked very frustrated, trying to find the right distance. Instead, he was eating those crisp left hands from Marquez. Shooto Brasil Bope will be right back here on HDNet.
We'll be back with more HDNet Fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope. Welcome back to HDNet Fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope.
Welcome back to Rio de Janeiro and HDNet's coverage of Shooto Brasil, Bope. Royce Gracie, if you are coaching the wrestler over here, what can he do to close the distance? What can he do to get inside and get this fight to the floor?
Shoot in.
Just shoot in. Just sell out. If you eat a kick, you eat a punch.
He's filling out too much.
So a little bit more aggression, and I'm sure again the all-star cast over here in Jesse Brock's corner is telling him exactly that you're getting picked apart on the outside. If you're going to get this fight to the floor, you just got to shoot in. And if you're Marquez, it's more of the same.
He's doing the right job right now, man, keeping the fight standing.
All right, round two.
Apart.
Absolutely. Round two underway here again. Shooto Brasil, we're here in Rio de Janeiro. Rodolfo Marquez opening with a crisp combination in the white trunks. The wrestler Jesse Brock in the black trunks having a hard time getting the fight to the floor in the opening round. Does look for the takedown very early. But like you said, Royce, doesn't just shoot in. Just dive, right?
He's not committing now, he does. He wasn't committing himself on the takedowns.
A little bit deeper here. Does have that single leg, but again, Marquez was in this position in the opening round and just showed outstanding balance up against the corner over there. Marquez's head does get through the ropes. They get him back in. Brock does not want to let go of that right leg. You see Marquez looked like he was trying to secure a choke almost as he fell to his back. A reverse crucifix there. Excellent creativity there. What can Marquez do from this position, Royce? Can he isolate that left arm as he rolls over? What's he looking for from this position? Very creative position here.
Sometimes you just fall into the position, you gotta try to take advantage.
Just get creative, I guess. You can see Brock's right arm is completely trapped by that figure four. And Marquez now rolling over on top. Oh, and missed a big left hand. Kind of a wild position there. Neither fighter could really gain advantage out of it. Back on the feet again. Jesse Brock in the black trunks pressing in on the outside. Rodolfo Marquez has shown excellent balance and great takedown defense throughout this fight. But like you said, Brock doing a better job this round of at least committing, at least trying to get to the inside. Just can't seem to finish that technique as Marquez pulls away. Brock slips on a high kick, no damage done. Referee imploring for a little bit of action. Marquez was really using that jab and the straight really well in the first. Hasn't shown too much of it in the second. Setting up the Kimura position there.
Jess is not giving him a chance to throw that jab. He's shooting him more this time.
Brock pressing it against the corner there. Rodolfo Marquez trying to set up that Kimura. Looks very close to being able to finish it here. Does have the right arm trapped behind. Brock showing some durability there, spinning and defending. What do you see here, Royce? Again, they're tangled up there over in the corner. Brock going for a heel hook of his own. Chances he finishes that? Probably not very high. Kind of back and forth here in the submission game.
Marquez showed great stand up. I want to see his ground grappling now.
Brock grinding away there. They do work back to the feet. A little bit of back and forth transition in there. It seemed like Marquez was threatening more in those positions, but they are back on the feet. Jesse Brock continues to press in from the outside. Continues to have trouble getting Marquez down. Well, Jesse Brock just missed a flying knee. Saw Rodolfo Marquez ducking in on the right side. There's that high left knee again, trying to capitalize on the head position there. Brock showing a lot of tenacity this round. Really not, as you said earlier, Royce, just not giving Rodolfo Marquez much room to breathe.
He heard him in the corner.
Some great advice from Royce Gracie working so far. Brock is just all over Rodolfo Marquez. Can't really take a huge advantage of it, but really probably frustrating Marquez at this point. Oh, a huge right hand. There was that stand-up, those crisp punches. Brock looked like he was a flash knockout, but he recovered very quickly. And now Brock trying to press in for a takedown. You see Marquez trying to set that Kimura grip a second time. Marquez trying to isolate that right arm. Tough to see what he's got as he's kind of covering the arm. Oh, the arm is definitely behind the back. Now he just needs to crank that shoulder. That right arm still in trouble there. Thought we heard it. There was the bell. Those final 10 seconds. Very close there to finishing that fight. Marquez looks very tired as well. Tell us about that round, Royce. What did you think?
Marquez showed, now that he's showing some grappling.
Yeah, absolutely.
He showed he's good for on the stand-up part.
We watched the replay here. Here was some of that creative grappling that we saw from Marquez. There was the really interesting position there. We had kind of the reverse crucifix. Here's the missed kick by Brock. You know, Brock did a great job of being aggressive, but here is the big shot that changed things. Crisp right hand, looked like a flash knockout, but Brock recovered right away. Still nearly got submitted in the end. Good work from Brock early in the round, but great work by Marquez at the end. I think he's got to take that second round as well. I will say this, Marquez looked very tired when he got up at the end of round 2. So,
don't know, frustrated.
Probably a little bit of both. Probably a little bit of both here. I think Rodolfo Marquez is up 2 rounds to none here. Jesse Brock, better work in the opening, but just not enough. I think he's got to get a finish here in this third and final round. Been an entertaining scrap so far. A lot of back and forth action. Again, it's Marquez in the white trunks. Royce Gracie and I have him up 2 rounds to none. Good work from Jesse Brock early, but obviously the knockdown and the near submission at the end certainly spelled doom for him in that second round. A couple of inside leg kicks there from Rodolfo Marquez. Jesse Brock showing that tenacity again, pushing in from the outside. Knee up the middle there from Marquez as he continues to defend. We spent a lot of the fight here in this position. Like you said, probably very frustrating for Marquez. Although he's been very good in defense, just not getting the room that he'd probably like to work. Is there anything Marquez can do from this position to change things up, or is he just doing the right thing by defending well?
Marquez ahead at 1 point, so he's fine to stalling over there.
Just ride it out in the corner, huh? Enjoy it. He does do a good job of reversing out to the outside. Now it's Marquez pushing in, but only briefly. Brock, a very tough, durable fighter, keeps firing up that left knee. He's looking to change things with a knee to the chin when Marquez ducks over a little too far. There was a nice knee to the body. Marquez, who looked a little tired at the end of round 2, I think you're right. He was just frustrated because he's showing a lot of head movement. He's looking very fresh out. Traded kicks there. Brock shoots in again. Once again, he's turning over on that single leg and just nothing there. Gonna duck down a little bit lower. Marquez likes to set up that Kimura grip every time. Lets it go there and pushes down. Jesse Brock, we've got him behind 2 rounds to none. Needs to make something happen. We're about 2 minutes into this third and final round, and so far Marquez has been able to stay upright, control the action, even though he is defending in there. Like Royce said, he's probably ahead on points. It's okay to stall over there a little bit. They do separate. Brock does get a nice right hand in there, but Marquez with a nice inside leg kick there. He looks like he wants to hit a home run blow. I think he felt good dropping his opponent in the second. He wants to get a big finish. There's a nice right hand over the top. Okay, no stopping Jesse Brock. We've seen it from moment 1. Oh, a nice right hand over the top. Brock shoots in again. We've seen it here over and over throughout the fight. And you can hear the corner of Jesse Brock not wanting him to stay in that position, calling for the break. He continues to press in. Again, we've seen a lot of the fight take place here. We haven't seen Jesse Brock really get any advantage here whatsoever.
He's closing the distance very well, but he's missing the finishing, that takedown, the going for a finishing hold for submission.
Here's Scott Jorgensen over there. Didn't want to wait for the referee's break. Jesse Brock, in their mind, needs to just shoot in, and if it doesn't work, back away and try it again. Kind of like you said after round one, Royce. Just shoot in, get it done. It's not there, try it again. Jesse Brock does try again, and instead he's kneed in the gut, catches the right hand again to the cheek is getting dotted up over there. Marquez looks extremely comfortable in there. I thought he was tired at the end of round two. He's bouncing on his feet, smiling, showing some head movement. Inside leg kicks there. Big left uppercut. See the blood now starting to trickle down the left cheek. Oh, and he gets rocked again by a short shot. Well, there's less than a minute remaining here in this third and final round. Brock is going to need something very special to pull off a win tonight.
He's going to need some Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
He can head down to Torrance after this and he'll hook him up, I'm sure. Jesse Brock been just a very durable fighter, pressing forward throughout the fight, but very impressed with what Marquez has been able to do against the ropes in the corner. Just will not go to the ground. And no quit in Jesse Brock, but as time is winding down here, now he does step over with the left leg. I thought we were going to see a little bit of that Gracie Jiu-Jitsu magic, but it just wasn't there. Brock ties up the wrist. We might see a slam. Oh, wild there. Scary moment, actually, as Marquez's neck kind of got tied up on that rope. Kind of a weird position there. Yeah, interesting. And as they do finally hit the ground, Marquez is again looking to isolate that right arm, and that's it. Can't get the finish. That's going to be the end of the fight. A good third round again by Jesse Brock, and the fact that he was pressing forward, closing the distance. But again, very impressed with Rodolfo Marquez, who, unless someone is watching a completely different fight, just won his 10th straight fight. What'd you think about the performance of Marquez tonight? Like you said, kind of risking things a little bit. You know, he's got Dream on the horizon, took a fight here tonight at Shooto Brasil. What'd you think about his performance?
I mean, he did. Wrestles are very hard to finish, so then he did shoot for a couple on lock, a couple Kimura. So it's he's going for the finishing hold.
Absolutely. I'm very impressed with Rodolfo Marquez. The takedown defense was great. He rocked his opponent a few times on the feet, showed some well-rounded game, nearly got the submission a few different times. I thought he had a couple of those holds in very deep and very close, so you got to think he's walking away with a unanimous decision tonight, and it really does look like another top Nova União prospect, as if there's not enough.
Yes, they produce very good fighters.
So the all-star corner likely didn't get it done for Jesse Brock tonight, but you know, I think Jesse Brock can at least keep his head high in the fact that he had a good effort. We'll get the official result now from our ring announcer, Mayeton.
Atenção, senhoras e senhores, com decisão unânime, o vencedor é Rodolfo.
So just as we thought, Rodolfo Marquez handed the decision win. That is his 10th consecutive win as he improves to 13-1. Great performance. My name is John Morgan. I'm with Royce Gracie. We'll be back with more Shooto Brasil on HDNet, your home for MMA.
We'll be back with more HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope. Welcome back to HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope.
So we carry on here at Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope. And this 4-fight USA versus Brazil series carries on, and I think Royce Gracie's up 1-0 on my Americans right now, but that's okay. We got another chance at it here to even it up here in the early going. Eddie Hoch, you heard it mentioned, Team Alpha Male. You know what that means. Urijah Faber walking in right behind him. Eddie Hoch, 4-3 in his MMA record, but his only losses come to tough cooks like Lee Morrison and Cruz Gomez. And of course, anytime you see somebody coming in with Urijah Faber in their corner, you know they're going to be well prepared. I certainly expect to see that from Eddie Hoch tonight. He didn't travel all the way here to Rio de Janeiro to just be a gimme opponent to somebody. course, he's going to be facing another one of those tough Nova União products. There's so many of them. How many of those Nova União guys are down here anyway?
There's a lot of them. I mean, they produce a lot of good fighters, man. So they're constantly getting new talents. And
yeah, Nova União, of course, we've seen it come around in recent recognition in the United States. But for seasoned veterans of the sport like yourself, boys, down here in Brazil, you know that's an academy that's been around for a long time and just has tons of fighters that just haven't quite made it to the big time yet.
you have loads of good fighters all over Brazil that don't have the money to travel. And it's a talent waiting to be discovered.
Seu oponente representando a equipe Nova União. Recebam o lutador Hacran Dias.
Hacran Dias goes by the nickname Barnaby. Now this is somebody that I'm very excited to watch fight tonight. We saw Rodolfo Marquez earlier this evening, who looked like a very top prospect. Hacran Dias brings an even more impressive record into the ring tonight. He's 18-1-1, the current Shooto America's lightweight champion. His only loss is the Juhil, but he has a few notable wins, including Cesar Augusto, Chicarim, and Leonardo Nogueira. So the Nova União representative here is, I think, a young stud in the making, and I'm excited to see him fight tonight. Even though I'm still hoping my Americans will even it up with this so far. I'm excited to watch this guy fight.
Don't push your luck next to me.
Hacran at 18-1-1 again, considered one of the top Nova União fighters. That loaded camp. Let's go to Maya Tone to get this fight started. Of course, let's give the ring girl time to do her thing first. It's a good moments too. There's a lot to take in Brazil, a lot of scenery. Can't just get right to the fights. And Eddie Hoch, just 21 years old, the Team Alpha Male representative. He'll be wearing the white form athletic shorts. Meanwhile, Hacran Dias, his Brazilian opponent, Nova União representative, wearing the white and black trunks. And right away, Eddie Hoch pressing the action forward. But immediately into the clinch, and Hacran Dias circles off and backs him into the corner. And it's Hacran Dias that gets the first takedown of the night. Immediately into half mount. I know Royce Gracie wants him to step over in the mount. Oh, and he gets the left hand underneath the neck there. Lets it go very quickly, though. Eddie Hoch is back up on his feet. Avoided a little bit of early danger there. Always scary in the early going when you're dry like that. You can catch those limbs, get around that neck a little bit easier. Eddie Hoch again trying to keep it inside, trying to wrestle, but again it's Hacran Dias who gets the fight to the ground. So
nice takedown.
Yeah, the American wrestlers here tonight struggling. It's the Brazilians doing the takedown work, and it's Hacran Dias in half mount. Now he does step over with that left arm, or left leg I should say, in the mount briefly, but Hoch scrambles underneath. They're briefly tied up underneath the ropes. Referee adjusts the limbs. Diaz just swarming from the top. That was a nice left hand. There's another left that clips across, a few rights to the temple. Stepping into full mount. Looks like he can maybe isolate that arm. Instead, both hooks are in now for Diaz. And Hoch is in a lot of trouble here, Royce. Both hooks in again. He's very high, though. Diaz very high. Oh, instead he adjusts to the arm. We get a straight armbar from that position. Really torquing the arm. Just needs to get the elbow pointed in the right direction, correct? Boy, what an interesting armbar position there from Diaz and Hoch. Oh, now it's locked out in a more traditional form. Just got to adjust the arm the right way.
Oh, man, he escaped.
credit to Eddie Hoch.
That was a very good escape.
Great work from the youngster. Like you said, Royce, great escape there from Eddie Hoch. I thought it was done. I thought the fight was over, to be honest with you. Instead, Eddie Hoch now on the back of Hacran Dias. Dias, though, looks like, again, trying to set up that kind of front Kimura position. We've seen a lot of the Nova União guys favor that tonight when somebody's on their back. Hoch tries for the takedown, but again, it's Dias that winds up on top and very close to full mount. Hoch did get the leg up there, but now steps back over into full mount. Dias in complete control right now. Hoch trying to keep the body locked tight. Hoch is getting punched on the forehead there, doing anything he can. The hooks are in again for Dias. Let's see if he's got a miraculous escape again, because it looks like Dias is going for the choke. Can he get the arm underneath? The left arm a little bit on the side, it looks like. Instead, he switches over to the right. Excellent transition work from Dias. Hoch underneath trying to survive, but he is in a lot of trouble here. That's it. Excellent work from Hacran Dias, who was just all over Eddie Hoch from the beginning. Nice escape in the early going from Eddie Hoch, but talk about that finish there, Royce. The transition from the left to the right, excellent work for the choke.
Dias took over from the beginning to end. Sorry, man. I know who you're cheering for. It's okay.
I know. Let me wipe away the tear here as the Americans go 0 for 2 on the night. Just excellent work from another top prospect. Hacran Dias nearly had the armbar finish early. Instead, the Nova União product got to the back a second time. Faked with one arm, went to the other, finished with a tap. Excellent work from Hacran Dias with the first round submission.
Senhoras e senhores, no primeiro round, aos 3 minutos e 26 segundos, finalização, mata-leão. O vencedor é Hacran Dias.
So there you have it. The mata-leão Hacran Dias was just all over his opponent from the opening bell. Just an impressive work right there, and that is his 7th straight win. He's now 19-1-1. Another top Nova União product. We'll be right back with more Shooto Brasil.
We'll be back with more HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil. Fight for Bope. Welcome back to HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil. Fight for Bope.
So we move on to tonight's co-feature. It's the 3rd fight in a 4-fight U.S. versus Brazil series, which the U.S. is right now behind 2-0 and two pretty impressive wins by the Brazilians. But that's okay, because now we're looking for redemption with Akbar Arreola. We're claiming him. He's actually a Mexican native, but he's going to be fighting for the U.S. tonight. Akbar Arreola is a very tough fighter, an impressive 19-5-1 record, including 13 submission wins, so obviously a grappling expert, certainly where he likes to fight. Incredible streak right now. He has won 15 of his past 16 fights. That is an impressive run no matter who you are, no matter who you're fighting. If you can put down 15 to 16, that's always a nice thing to do. His one draw was to a very tough Antonio McKee, and he's also had some tough losses against Toby Imada and Mac Danzig. So Akbar Arreola, El Caballero.
Vai representar a equipe Nova União, Royce Torres.
Of course, you didn't think they were bringing in a very impressive Arreola to fight any Brazilian can, and they certainly have not. Instead, we're seeing UFC vet Hannes Torres. Hannes Torres, an impressive record as well, 20 wins, against just 4 losses. 17 of those victories have been finishes, including 11 submissions and 6 knockouts. Had a tough stretch in the UFC, went 0-2 in the octagon, and was released immediately. I thought he actually won against Melvin Guillard. That was a very, very close fight. But since that fight, he's gone on a 6-1 record and is really looking to get back to the big time. Was born in the Amazon, hence his nickname, the Jungle Boy. And this is a very exciting fighter, and I think this is going to be a great co-feature. Again, this is John Morgan on HDNet. We're at Shooto Brasil in Rio de Janeiro. In addition to the legend, Royce Gracie, I've now got another superstar of the sport joining me here ringside, and that is the California kid, Urijah Faber. And Urijah, tough night for the Americans tonight. Been a little rough, but how about the fights this evening?
Oh, they've been awesome, man, and what a cool event. I mean, to see the police officers here and overlooking all of Brazil, it's pretty incredible, man. It really is. I've just been honored to be here. Obviously, we're the visitors, but this is a great thing, and you and I have seen fights all over the country, from the smallest shows to the biggest UFC events, but man, the cannon going off and the guns and these guys cheering their soldiers, just impressive. Oh yeah, this is they got a lot of fireworks going and a lot of emotions running deep in here, so it's cool. And what an honor to be sitting here with the man himself, man. I've been a huge fan since I can remember, man. So what an honor.
Since you're a kid, right? You watched me fight. Yeah. Great, thanks. You just made me feel old now. I'm going home.
Don't want to rub it in. Although you don't have a scratch on you, man. I'm all beat up.
All right, pleased to be joined by two legends of sport. Let's move on to the evening's co-feature.
That is funny, huh? I'm getting it myself now. I'm 32.
Oh, you're old, man.
I'm getting up there.
No, just to clear it up over here, just because I'm surrounded by you two, don't forget that you guys are surrounded by my people, okay?
We've got Royce,
so don't pick on me too much, all right?
We're surrounded by the ring girls right here. That's okay with me. Speaking of, here we go.
I like that. See, this is something they do in Brazil that we need to bring into the United States. Round one, they don't get this thing underway. Why? Because the ring girl has not walked yet. Right. So we're waiting on that.
And they also have the ring girl on a weightlifting program.
No doubt.
All squats. High protein diet, I'm sure.
It's great to be in Brazil with these two legends. Hannes Torres, Akbar Areola in tonight's co-feature.
Now, is it true that Hannes been fighting like sometimes twice a month and every month?
Absolutely, staying extremely busy since his loss, and he wants to get back to UFC, prove that he was outed just a little too quick. Both guys wearing the white shorts, but Areola will have the Mexican flag on the right side, whereas Hannes Torres has the beautiful artwork on the left upper arm. Areola takes the center early on.
The southpaw.
Huh. The famous front kick. I guess all Brazilians know that now. Nice right hand, though. Slapping low kicks, just missed with that left hand, and there he ducks in.
Beautiful timing, taking him down.
That was perfect timing there.
Yeah, Hannes Torres, a very exciting fighter. Again, just got 2 fights in the UFC. One that was a very, very close loss to Melvin Guillard.
Melvin's been on a streak right now also, just knocking people out, so no shame in that loss.
Absolutely. The fact that he took him deep like he did, no shame in that.
So we're looking to hear no elbows, which is unfortunate for the guys on the top because I feel like that's a major weapon in here in the guard.
Yeah, you see Areola opens that guard from underneath, trying to scramble up. Almost falls through the ring ropes there.
Oh. Swinging for the fences.
Torres, nice combinations against the ropes, and again brings the fight back down to the floor. Areola thought about the rubber guard briefly. Not there for him.
He's active from the guard.
Yeah, great back and forth battle so far in the ground position. Of course, Hannes Torres spending a lot of time in top position. Seems to be the aggressor of the two right now, but no shame for Areola in staying busy underneath. Areola in his corner right now, so he's got the benefit of receiving instruction from his coaches as Hannes Torres goes to work on securing that left arm.
Stretch him, stretch him.
The ropes may cause some problems over there as he's trying to finish this maneuver.
I feel like these guys have some rope techniques. You know, there's cage techniques. We saw the one guy stick his head out and hook it with his chin.
That was a beautiful takedown defense with the rope, wasn't it? Oh, excellent transition. Oh, I thought Torres had mount there briefly. Instead, he's going to settle for half.
Knee inside, knee inside. Go, 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 go. Hip out, hip out, hip out.
Ariola,
he's working for that.
Yeah, Ariola looks very relaxed underneath.
Knee inside, knee inside, knee inside. Knee inside.
That left arm is in trouble.
Knee inside. Get that knee inside.
Trying to work on that Kimura.
Hips, lock his hips, lock his hips.
See, Hannes Torres trying to step around and finish that again. His legs are outside of the ropes. He's getting kind of tied up in the ropes a little bit. Wants to step over and secure the head. Had it there briefly.
Left leg, kick it off. Just kick it off. Good.
Ariola pulls his hand free there.
He's using his legs to free that arm. That was pretty cool little technique. Like a little guard on the arm.
Oh, super slick transition into mount for Hannes Torres. Just kicked that right leg over very quickly.
2 minutes left,
oh, raining down the punches.
Like I said, you're right. No elbows here, but when you land punches like that, you don't need to. Transitions to the back. Both hooks in. Ariola working to his feet. Torres is a little bit high. He tried to slam him forward.
Oh, he got out. This guy's a scrapper. He's here to fight.
Excellent work from Ariola here. 21-5-1, so he brings an impressive record.
Is he on a, what, 11 winning streak? Is that right?
Yeah, he's on a nice run at this point. 15 of his last 16.
Oh.
So now after a lot of offense from Hannes Torres to open this round, Ariola's going to stand over him and try to fire a few kicks. Not staying aggressive enough. Referee going to ask the fight to stand up. So we reset on the feet.
Oh. Big up kick.
Excellent work in Savon. Thought he might have caught him inside. We continue. Torres dropping big bombs. A couple of those hooks landed clean, it looked like. Torres going to get the takedown. We've seen Ariola very comfortable on his back. Torres trying to work that right leg through, get into a mount position. Ariola nearly had the sweep. Just very impressed with the aggression on top from Hannes Torres, but Ariola a scrapper underneath.
Yeah, I feel like both guys are probably originally grapplers.
You can see Torres again trying to go to work on that left leg. And as you mentioned earlier, Uriah, Ariola does a good job of using his legs right now to defend. He used it earlier to get out, and again, he escapes from the position.
You got an arm choke in. What are the exact rules with the ring? Are you allowed to push up the ring with your foot? The ref's not letting him do it. You should be able to do that, right?
We're in Brazil, man. We can do anything we want.
See, I got to hang out with him for the rest of the trip. I like that mentality.
All right, guys, end of round one. We talked about Ariola was very active on bottom, very good in defense, but as we watch the replays here, got to think Hannes Torres took the opening round by being the aggressor and being on top, right?
He did a couple of good takedowns, and he landed more punches. Not just being aggressive, but he scored all the points that
good. Shooto Brasil, Bope. We'll be right back.
We'll be back with more HDNet Fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope. Welcome back to HDNet Fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope.
Anytime you see the full array of ring girls, that's always a positive. Uriah, you did some coaching tonight. Obviously, a couple of tough results tonight. But Ariola, like what he's doing on bottom. What can he do to change things?
You know, he's kind of wild on when he's standing, and he's wild on the bottom. So I guess the game plan is just to be squirmy and try to catch something, because I really feel like Honey's the better fighter. So he's got to make something happen. He's got to stand his ground on the feet, but look for something on the ground.
Definitely got to work on that takedown defense.
Yeah, absolutely. He continues to find himself in the bottom position as comfortable he is there. Will continue to lose rounds if he stays there.
Right, but I think he'll continue to lose rounds on the feet too, and maybe lose consciousness.
You heard it. So it's a tall order for Akbar Ariola. He's wearing the white trunks with the Mexican flag. Hannes Torres, who we believe took the opening round, is sporting the nice ink on the left shoulder there. This is John Morgan, joined alongside Royce Gracie and the California kid, Urijah Faber. We're here in the co-feature at Shooto Brasil. A nice stiff left to start.
He's switching back and forth. He's unorthodox, but
yeah,
he's
like
one of those guys, you got to put him out if you want him out of this fight. He's going to keep on fighting.
Yeah, and you never know. You've got somebody wild and scrambly like that. You know, they get a lucky maneuver or a position falls just right. Oh, almost ducked into a big knee there. Talking about what can change from a wild fighter.
Yeah, I don't think it's lucky. If the guy does it over and over and over again, we can't call it luck anymore.
That's right.
So if he's throwing those wild punches, I will call it unlucky for the other guy if he gets hit with one. How's that?
That's fair enough. I guess when you throw a punch to somebody's chin, you're trying to knock him out. It's not lucky, right?
That's right.
But like you said, great takedown again by Hannes Torres, and he's setting up in top position.
If you were fighting Honey Torres,
I would have tied him up right now so bad, man.
It would have been over already.
I don't know about over, but hey, I don't take many punches, man. I don't like to get hit.
Yep, hence the face going on. You're what, 38 now?
Yeah.
38 Brazilian years. So we see Ariel again, like you said, wily, scrambling underneath, not allowing Hannes Torres to do anything of really severe consequence, but still unable to offer any kind of counterattack.
Take one of them home. There, that one, go. Hit it. Sit up on it. Sit up on the arm. Sit up. Go.
Hannes Torres, the two-time UFC vet, looking to get back to the big time.
You got energy for days. Let's go.
And he's controlling his opponent on top, landing a couple hammer fists from time to time.
In the middle, push him up.
It can be frustrating. You see a guy like in the guard like that who's working and working and working. It can sometimes, on a lesser fighter, break a guy on top even. When the guy is like trying to hold on to a greased pig, you know. End of the third round, that can factor in, especially when it comes in wild and crazy, and that's when the luck happens.
Yeah, Royce, you talked about it earlier tonight, the frustration level, right? When you're trying things over and over and it just won't work.
You need an arm and a head, buddy. You need an arm and a head.
Hannes Torres still continues to just pound away from top position. You can see both guys getting covered in sweat. Obviously, the middle of the Brazilian winter here in Rio de Janeiro, but the humidity level never drops below about 99%. So you work up a nice sweat very quickly, and that's probably assisting Areola a little bit in the fact that he's been able to slide out of so many of these, submission and transition attempts.
Yeah, no doubt. Still active. Both guys are being active. Ooh.
Kicked
nice
up
shot.
the legs there. There you talk about it. The wiliness of Areola on the bottom. Unfortunately, probably giving away rounds as he stays on the bottom, but showing that he's dangerous from that position.
That's right. You don't blink against the guy who's in it to the bitter end.
Absolutely. We saw it. Famous Brazilian Anderson Silva, of course, pulling it off against Chael Sonnen, staying on his back for almost 5 full rounds before he was finally able to get that triangle choke. Areola looks like he's going to try to finish something like that of his own, but Hannes Torres has just been smothering from the top from the opening moments of this bout.
Bringing it back up. Back in the danger zone. Both guys are throwing heavy punches. Oh!
Nice front kick there.
Oh! Oh!
Excellent action there on the restart. Areola with a nice front kick. We saw the impressive striking again, the wild, creative striking, but the Hannes Torres, outstanding takedown again.
And a great chin on that as well.
What's he doing for this position, Royce? Can he isolate that shoulder?
He's got it over. If he can...
just needs to get that left arm over.
Leg and get the arm across.
And he's got the advantage of being right in front of his corner, so he is receiving some very specific instructions. Royce, feel free to coach him through it if you want to.
He's not going for that guy.
I thought I might trick him. I thought I might get him to forget there relatively quickly. Now
he's going straight arm
as well. Now he's got that triangle choke in. We talked about it.
He's inches away from locking it. Good defense here. He's posturing up.
Squeeze his head hard.
He's back down, though, in the danger zone.
How much trouble is Torres in right now?
He's in a lot of trouble.
He's in trouble.
A lot of trouble. Now it's in tight.
Very creative. We've talked about it. This triangle choke in deep. Is the rope maybe helping, hurting? I don't know.
And he's out.
Excellent work from Hannes Torres there. And now he's
very good work.
And now he's immediately in the mount. Talk about a turn of events. Hannes Torres escapes the triangle. The round ends with him pounding away. What an incredible turn of events there in the final seconds.
He was saved by keeping that arm across. If he was able to get that arm across, it would have been good night. So he knew that. He kept on posturing up, kept the arm from getting across his body, and saved himself.
Great work. We can see that front kick there. Didn't quite get it done for Arreola, but very creative striking. Certainly caught his opponent's attention with the blocked high kick and then the successful front kick. Great work from both these fighters. And they're cheering for the replays.
That's the ring girl.
Yeah, they're cheering for the replays, I'm sure. We did get to see our full array of ring girls tonight, so it is a success as we watch the replay. Well, we're not watching the replay, let's be honest. You guys at home are watching the replay. We're watching something entirely different. Great work there at the end from Arreola.
Squats, man.
The squats. Pigs in a blanket.
Was it enough at all for Arreola to steal that round, or just not even close?
Not close, but you know what? This round is where he's going to be the most dangerous, and that's because of this mentality that he has and the fact that he's got dangerous moves. It's just a matter of catching one of them.
Absolutely. We talked about the creativity and, man, just the durability of Arreola on the bottom. He threatened with it. You know, we previewed it earlier, and sure enough, there it was. So a key third round here. Hannes Torres, could he be frustrated? He's been in control, but he was the one that was probably closest to getting finished in this fight. So third and final round. Could be a very interesting 5 minutes. Again, Arreola, as he has over and over, takes the center. Can he stay on his feet maybe this time? Torres is just taking him down almost at will.
We'll see here.
Ooh, nice inside leg kick right on the knee. It goes high. Arreola again, getting creative with the striking. Mixing up the levels. Needs to be very aware of those takedowns. He got a little bit casual there. Nice inside leg kick from Torres.
Arreola is the aggressor here, and that's what we talked about before. It's the mentality thing, and mentality can win fights. Seen it over and over and over again.
Hannes Torres not quite as active again. Probably knows he's up 2 rounds to none. Catches a stiff left up the middle. Is fatigue an issue, or does he just feel comfortable? He's not being quite as aggressive. We haven't seen him with a shot. Oh, and he catches a knee as he goes into the shot, but still winds up in top. Boy, Torres ducked in and caught a knee as he moved in.
Right on the chin.
Still got to where he wanted to be. Great durability.
He's got a great chin, that's for sure. You know, I think I don't think he's fatigued to the point where he's not functioning. It's just I think he was catching his breath.
Kind of one of those active rest things, getting ready for an explosion.
Now he's back on top where he's been most of the fight.
Peppering the ribs again. Arreola showed with that near triangle in round 2 that he is dangerous on the bottom, even as slick and sweaty as these guys are here in Rio de Janeiro. Outdoors, a great co-feature.
Oh yeah, boys, who wins this in a no time limit fight? Who are you saying? Who's your gut saying on this one? Brazilian pride aside.
The Brazilian is spending a lot of energy.
He is, right? Yeah. He is. Yeah, I'm gonna say
with a no time limit, I'm worried about his gas.
Yeah,
oh, look at that as he leaps over the right arm. And Hannes Torres just pulls it free. Again, there was that creativity from Arreola, the danger on the bottom. Again, tough to win rounds from your back, but you can certainly win a fight with one single maneuver, and he's come close a couple of times.
He's looking for him. That's the important thing. You know, you got to stay in there, and you got to look for something to the bitter end, and that's the point we're at right now.
Absolutely. Hannes Torres tries to step over into mount. Arreola does a good job of at least remaining in half guard underneath. Eats a left hand to the face there for his trouble.
Oh, hammer fists are deadly there.
Great work from the top from Hannes Torres. Arreola again gets to full guard.
It's a good substitute for an elbow right there. Is a hammer fist to the dome.
Hannes Torres continues just pound away. The crowd is
Donkey Kong.
Loving the double hammer fist.
Somebody give this guy a banana.
And the Bope crowd loves it as he transitions beautifully into mount. Less than 2 minutes remain. He looked like he was setting up the armbar there briefly.
Stopping on bottom.
Instead, Arreola rolls. Torres has both hooks in.
It's one of those bad positions. It's one of those fights where your pride is feeling good, but your face is hurting at the end of it.
Absolutely. It's been Arreola has been threatening with the submissions throughout from his back, but now it's Hannes Torres that's on the back, looking for a finish in the final 90 seconds here. We've seen the durability of Arreola all throughout, and it does look like Torres is a little bit high on the back. Nevertheless, he's going to roll over and lock in the figure 4 around the body. Yeah, it's finally, I think he's running out of gas finally here with just 1 minute left in this third and final round. Hannes Torres now driving the right hand into the ribs. He's got that figure 4 around the body. That's certainly not helping the breathing of Akbar Arreola, and those right punches to the face aren't helping him feel any better either.
He's still working for position, though. He's still trying to get out and do his thing. You got to give him credit for that.
Absolutely. Very durable, very tough. Just ran into a very dominant Hannes Torres tonight, who looks just absolutely determined to get back to the big stage.
He's got his legs crossed there, and you know, in the practice room, not going to submit a guy. At the end of a fight like this, it probably just hurt.
Yeah, we're entering the final seconds here, the third and final round of our co-feature here at Shooto Brasil in Rio de Janeiro. Akbar Arreola has put up a heck of a fight for 15 minutes, but Hannes Torres has just been a beast from start to finish, getting the fight to the floor, evading a couple of real serious submission attempts while battering his opponent throughout.
What a great fight.
Just an entertaining fight. And look at Arreola, as grave an effort as he gave. Man, he was just exhausted at the finish out, rightfully so. Excellent work from both fighters. Very entertaining stuff. Got to think Hannes Torres is, of course, walking away with the victory there.
I would say so for sure, but man, Arreola just made a fan out of me. He's got a heart on him, and I think only with time will he get better and better. But you know, you can't kill a heart like that.
You did say a heart on, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. Just making sure, California kid. Great work there, absolutely, from both fighters. Hannes Torres now should, according to the way we've seen, improve to 7-1 since leaving the UFC. That's got to get Joe Silva's attention, especially as many fights as the UFC is putting on these days. And Arreola, I think you said it right, Uriah, at least made a fan out of me. I like the heart, the durability. It was outstanding.
Right, and he put some dangerous moves out there.
Moist, what were your thoughts? The Brazilian one, that's all you care.
I saw
the look. I just said the Brazilian one, dude. What do you want me to say?
We should talk to Arreola about maybe getting a no time limit match. You and Sakuraba had a special match like that.
I think Torres will play different.
I think so too. Put the gi on. I remember watching that fight. It was one of my favorite fights. Sakuraba was trying to take Royce's pants off in the corner, and your dad was laughing so hard.
The memory.
You remember that?
The memory. As we thought, guys, Hannes Torres walks away with the decision, now 7-1 since leaving the UFC. Another excellent performance by the Jungle Boy. We'll be back with our main event here at Shooto Brasil.
We'll be back with more HDNet fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope. Welcome back to HDNet Fights. Shooto Brasil, fight for Bope.
Well, it's finally time for our main event of the evening, and it looks like it should be explosive on paper. Walking out first, Marvin the Beastman Eastman. And if you've been watching MMA for any length of time, you know who Marvin Eastman is. And he's got the hopes of America on his shoulders right now, because Royce Gracie's Brazilians have been putting the smackdown so far. They're up 3-0 on the Brazil versus U.S. series. Marvin Eastman, again, we've seen him fight, doesn't always have the best results. He's unfortunately just 2-6 in his last 8 fights. But that said, I mean, he's been in there with some absolute monsters of the sport. You look at his notable wins. Terry Martin, Jason Guida, Travis View, Alan Belcher, Jason McDonald, Vernon Tiger White, Rampage Jackson. The guy has beat some monsters, and the guys that he's lost to are tough too. Ryan Jimmo, Arona, Kang, Guida, Lambert. I mean, he's got some tough ones in there. So the bottom line is, Marvin Eastman, win or lose, he's going to put you in a fight.
Yeah, he's a dangerous guy, and I think he's coming out to some homemade music here. I've never heard this one before.
This is his track. I like it, man. So he's a multi-talented guy. Obviously, he was a former California State Correctional Officer. That's part of his history. He also played a little bit of football at UNLV and in the CFL. So just a multi-talented athlete and a pretty tough dude.
Yeah, and right now he's really enjoying coaching. He's been talking to me. We've been staying in the hotel, and he's talking about his son, who's 18 years old now, and getting into fighting himself and had some fights, and about being active in the wrestling world. So he's enjoying life, and said he got a couple more fights in him. So, you know, for a 42-year-old, this guy looks like about as athletic as you can get.
Big fight tonight for Marvin Eastman. Wants to get back to winning ways.
He just got a couple of years on Royce here.
Just doesn't have the Brazilian thing going for him. He'd be all right.
Yeah.
We can't even get Royce in the broadcast booth with all the pictures that these ladies want to take. I think he's actually got more game than you, Urijah.
I would say so. Deserved, well deserved.
Glover Teixeira.
All right, Marvin Eastman's opponent tonight, Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira is a fighter that maybe the casual fan hasn't heard of, but I think the hardcore has. I see you're jamming to the Bob Marley as he's coming in there. Glover Teixeira does do a little bit of training in the United States with the slow kickboxing team there, Hackelman and Chuck Liddell. And he's a fighter that always seems to be on the cusp of making it into the UFC. There are rumors of a UFC contract before, and we just haven't seen him make the move to the US. But he's hoping tonight he can make a statement that shows, hey, I belong in the UFC.
And I've seen the guy. I've actually trained with him a couple times, and he's very tough. He has got a knockout punch. I watched him at the Palace in Lemoore, California. Just put someone ice out in the first round. Face planted the dude with a short hook. So the guy's dangerous, man. And that's not to mention his jiu-jitsu as well. So
yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that. He's on an 11-fight winning streak right now. We do think of the knockout power. Does have an Abu Dhabi win over Dean Lister.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that tells you something.
That's not a bad name to have a grappling win over.
Not at all. So Glover Teixeira looking to make it a perfect 4-0 in the Brazilian versus U.S. series. Marvin Eastman looking to get back to winning ways and, you know, make at least some noise for the Americans tonight, because I'm tired of Royce Gracie gloating over here. But before all that, feast your eyes on the ring girl.
Here we go. This ring girl coming in here should give Marvin the Beastman Eastman a slight edge.
Great times tonight in Rio de Janeiro. Happy to be joined by Royce Gracie, Urijah Faber. Let's take it to our ring announcer for the night's main event. Both fighters getting a little bit of last-minute instructions from the referee. I think more than anything, just checking the gloves to make sure there's no lead or rocks or anything in there, because I think we're going to see two guys stand in the pocket trading with each other.
Oh, yeah, these guys aren't scared.
Glover Teixeira, again, you talked about it, right? He does have some submission skills. I know you know his instructor, Royce. He's a black belt. But, again, I think both these guys are just going to stand and bang, don't you?
I think so. I think so.
You've got hundreds of uniformed Bope officers in the background here at the Bope training ground in Rio de Janeiro. I think they want to put on a little war for these troops, if you know what I'm saying.
I like how the American fighters are getting in each other's corner. We've got Clay Guida and Scotty Jorgensen over there. And I think they just came out with the Beast Man because he's a cool dude.
Absolutely. So you've got Eastman in the white trunks with Teixeira in the camouflage.
At the end of the day, it's a strategy game.
Yeah.
Who can pull it off better?
Let's see.
Ooh. And there's a big shot early right away. As we said, they trade in the pocket. Eastman thought about takedown. Instead, Teixeira going to continue to stalk. Big right hand. And these guys, as promised, dropping bombs. Eastman shooting in for the takedown.
Gets a takedown.
Great takedown. Got into half mount, but reversed very quickly. Teixeira, I think, trying to just push him out. It does push him out. The upper body comes out. Not sure if that was him shoving or maybe Marvin ducking out so he can get it restarted.
He's moving in that direction. He's got some good, Marvin's got the good fake takedown to overhand. Hits people with it all the time.
So we reset on the feet. Eastman opens with an inside leg kick.
There it is again.
Kind of a fake shot right over the top. Teixeira standing firm in the pocket.
Beastman's a wild man.
Yeah, he really is. Obviously has a little bit of a reach disadvantage to deal with tonight, but that's never bothered him before. Nice inside right hand there.
think Glover's going to come with a kick here soon.
Yeah, he's been showing decent head movement, but he's backed up into the corner right now. Teixeira is going to move in, wrap things up there. Perhaps look to take this fight to the floor. He hasn't done so yet. It's actually been Eastman that tried to work the fight to the ground in the early going. Teixeira pressing in from the outside. A little warning there for holding on to the ropes. Oh, nice uppercut inside from Eastman. Teixeira backs away and resets. But Eastman, now he leaps out of the corner, but he's leaving himself there, kind of allowing Teixeira to cut off the ring.
Oh, he keeps ducking those punches. It's wild. Marvin's been fighting for so long. His first fight was against Quentin Rampage Jackson in King of the Cage.
Incredible.
That was about 9-10 years ago. I actually met him at one of my first fights about 7 years ago. Still in it.
He's in trouble right now, though, is Marvin Eastman. The fight went to the floor a second time. Teixeira on top. He moved quickly to mount. Eastman going to roll to avoid damage, but that allows Teixeira to get in both hooks. We're about halfway into this opening round, so Teixeira has a lot of time to work. Eastman did spin in and peel off that left leg. Now he's going to try to spin again. But as he does so, Teixeira wisely grabbing onto wrist control there. Eastman's head again outside of the rope. Second time we've seen that in this opening round.
He needs to go over, still one from the Brazilians.
He's trying to get out of the
He's still Look at that, the upper body outside again. And
hook the ring with your chin.
Yeah, and you can. We've got some frustrated Bope soldiers here saying, hey, don't stick your head out. Stand in there and take some punishment. But, hey, good work from Eastman. Very gutsy veteran move there. Did get a warning, though, from the referee. Now on the restart. Teixeira, again, backs him into the corner. Big body shot there. Teixeira now, I think, feels very comfortable. He's a little slow to open up the early going, but he looks extremely comfortable now.
Eastman's got double underhooks here. It's a good position.
About 90 seconds remaining in this opening round. Eastman looked very crisp early, changing levels and throwing shots to the body, shots to the head.
This little cut that's opened up on Eastman's face here.
Yeah, blood trickling down the nose. It looks like something under the left eye there maybe as well.
I saw one fight got stopped earlier for that. I think they should let it go as long as it's not.
Teixeira breaks away.
Big punches.
Looks like it's ready to tee off. Eastman again showing some head movement. Really didn't take too much damage in that
He's bobbing and weaving.
Down and out. After the great work to avoid the damage the first time around, Eastman is dropped and wincing
right
in pain. Glover Teixeira, an impressive TKO victory. Standing over his opponent, I'm imagining a little bit of respect, but you see Marvin Eastman wincing there from the damage. He did have a cut on the left, underneath the left eye. Glover Teixeira showed that heavy leather that has him now on a 12-fight winning streak with his 11th career win by knockout or TKO. And Eastman is still on the ground being treated. Glover Teixeira makes it 4-0 for the Brazilians.
It looked good.
Bope goes 2-0 tonight. Brazil goes 4-0 against the Americans.
Royce jinxed us. I blame it on Royce. He jinxed us.
The Royce love, me and Urijah got to go home with our tail between our legs. We got nothing to cheer for.
Ring girl distraction.
We haven't seen Brazilian ring card girls too often. We got distracted. It's just not fair. We see Reed Harris in there to congratulate the former WEC fighter Glover Teixeira. And Marvin Eastman again looked very crisp early. Very impressed with how he started.
We got the good old days. That's Reed Harris, the founder of the WEC, who's in there. And
Pedro Rizzo.
Reed is reliving his glory days. We call him the silverback. That gray hair and all his cash. And swagger.
He's just trying to complain there was a little bit of an eye poke or something, but I mean, obviously a clear TKO win.
No primeiro round, aos 4 minutos.
Waiting just 1 second for Glover Teixeira to get his t-shirt on. Got to get paid.
the beast man, the warrior, been in the sport a long time. Always a battle too.
Nocaute. O vencedor é Glover Teixeira.
So Glover Teixeira with the first round TKO win, perhaps heading to the United States to fight in the UFC sometime soon. Just another impressive performance. Marvin Eastman, like you said, Urijah, always a warrior, came to fight. Looks like complaining a little bit of maybe an eye poke, but bottom line is he was finished there.
I think it was a punch.
Yeah, I think he was a punch there as well.
You know, it's hard to say, but I'm sure some stuff got in his face.
So an incredibly entertaining night of fights here in a very special location, the Bope Training Center in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Urijah, you sat in with us for the last two fights, coached a couple people earlier tonight. What were your final thoughts on the evening?
Man, everybody came to fight, and it was an impressive night, to be honest. I mean, and the energy in here was incredible. I mean, these guys are protecting Brazil. You know, the protectors, and this show is for them. And I think the fighters all put on a great fight.
Absolutely. Royce, of course, you get to gloat. Your Bope team went 2-0 tonight. Your Brazilians shut out the Americans 4-0. What were your thoughts on another great event here from Shooto Brasil?
The Brazilians, the Bope, they fight every day on the streets. They can shoot. Now they prove that they can get in the ring and duke it out too. They can do some finishing holds. They can punch. The Brazilians, some very new talents from Nova União.
Thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight on HDNet. You've been watching Shooto Brasil, Bope here in Rio de Janeiro. Special thanks to everyone that made this show happen, including HDNet's executive producer, Daryl Awal, who joined us here in Rio de Janeiro. Thanks as well to the operations editing staff for their help in bringing you this very special show from this very unique place. And our gratitude to all of our Brazilian hosts for making us feel at home. It's been a great trip, and this was a great event as well. Final thanks to the manager of Marketing Alliances, Adam Swift, and the CEO of HDNet Fights, Andrew Simon. I'm John Morgan. For my broadcast partners, Royce Gracie and Urijah Faber. So long from Rio de Janeiro.
Adios.